After evening, everybody. Happy Fourth early. Hope everybody being safe.
Yeah. How's it going, man?
It's going good. It's going good. Just living a dream. Living a dream.
That's cool. So now let me see something here. This
Whatever
is
you
weird
now, I
because
can
I
actually
think,
hear the sound coming out to the computer.
oh, you can hear me coming through the computer now.
Now, now I can hear you coming to the computer.
Okay. Can you still hear me on can you still hear me on Blog Talk? Let me
Go
see.
ahead.
Can you still hear me on
Yeah,
Blog Talk?
I can still hear you on Blog Talk. Now I don't know if I can hear a
You
caller,
do.
but I can.
Hmm.
I don't. Like if someone was to call in, I don't know
Let's
if I
see.
can
Let me
hear them.
bring Kevin. Let me bring Kevin. Okay, so Kev, I brought you in. Welcome back. Talk, say something. Let me see if Ralph can hear you on Blog Talk as well. Kev, you there? Okay, wait. Let me make.
No, no, I can. I can. Okay, I can hear you on the
You hear
phone.
me now?
Right. I can hear Wes on the phone. I mean
You
through the
hear me?
computer, but I
You
can't
hear
hear
me
Kev through the
on?
computer.
No, you can't have Kev through the computer. That's where, yeah, that's the issue we were running into.
Right.
Um, yeah, that's the issue we've been running into. So the mixer that I bought is I'm still miss. I might be able to make it work. I got to get like another cord. I got to get another wire because the problem is everything's running into the mixer, but there's basically two different inputs that need to be used, so to speak, going into the computer. The input going in from Blog Talk and the input going in from my microphone, and they're all not adding up. So whatever, we won't get too technical on people.
Get the splice. The splice should do it.
I mm, I did that I did, but see when I do that for whatever reason, my microphone people are not hearing right, um, and then I guess the issue was yeah they're on their own channels, but I guess the issue is mainly you guys would still be able to hear me, but the live stream. Let me try one more thing. We're not gonna get too technical here because we don't want people to get bored with our technology and run out. But let me try something, and then we'll go from there. If it don't work, it doesn't work. Do, do, do. Okay. All right. Let me see something. Kev, you still there, right? Okay. And Ralph can't hear anything.
No,
Did you?
I can hear you. I still can't hear Kev through the computer.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Let me try one more thing. Now, if I turn it to this, if I turn it to this, if I turn it to this, say something, Kev, because I know Ralph's probably not going to hear me, but
No.
no.
I can hear you. I can hear Kev through the phone, but I can't hear him through the computer.
Okay. All right. There you go. So we'll work it out another time. There you go. We're not going to spend the rest of our time on here trying to work it out. So let me just go back to my original settings and we continue the show. Do, do, do. Okay. So now you'll hear me, everyone hear me on the live stream, and you hear me through the computer. I am, I'm set up like I was last week. You guys on Blog Talk can hear me talk through the microphone, and you guys on the live stream can hear me as well. So that's one issue worked out. We just got to work out the rest. So, yeah, from that point, I think what we should do is, in order to really get our conversation going, I don't know, Kev, will you be able to join the live stream? Oh, okay. You about to drive. Okay. All right, cool. All right. It is what it is. So anyhow, that was the first topic. The other topic is going to be uh, I also want to talk about, because a lot of people on this same type of topic, a lot of people have been bringing up blackface. What is blackface? What's the difference, right? Blackface, whitewashing. Sometimes I get a little confused. People use the word blackface a little freely, like they use it more in the wrong context than they should. And as a result of that, you got people who just recently, there was an article about people are demanding the Wayans brothers for an apology for performing in whiteface for the movie White Chicks.
None.
Apparently there is now. So, but here's the deal.
I'm going to say this. Listen. Even if there was, a such thing as whiteface,
Right.
there has only been one movie, one White Chicks. How many films can we bring up that where a white actor has done blackface? You can start with Al Jolson and you can end with Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, okay? There's and if you want to say that Eddie Murphy skit on Saturday Night Live where he been walking around all this white guy, or even if you want to say when he was white in Coming to America, that was a role that he played where he was uh, um uh, as far as makeup as to a white guy. Was it to disparage a nationality? No. Was it used to make fun of a whole race? No. Hey, can you hear me now? Is that better? Let me take this thing off. Was it you?
Interesting.
I got the phone up all the way. Was it used to be disparaging to a race or insulting to a race? No. I hear what's going on. There's an echo. There's an echo going on.
Yeah. Well, I hear you either way, Ralph, because I can hear you through the computer as well. But Kev, can you hear him now?
Yeah, there's a really bad echo going on.
Let me see. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Rewire everything back to the other way so people can hear. Anyway, because I don't want to spend a bunch of time trying to work out, technical difficulties. But so here we go. Let's see. Oh, I think maybe because he can't hear Ralph. I know why he can't hear Ralph. Because Ralph was not on Blog Talk. Now Ralph speak.
Oh. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, because somebody in the chat room saying that I sound like I'm in the back of a corner or a room somewhere.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was is that black people, actors have been using blackface in films for years. We could start with Al Jolson and end it with Robert Downey Jr. if you want to say. And if you
Yeah.
want to go with Eddie Murphy when he played a white guy in Coming to America or White Chicks, it wasn't
Right.
used to be disparaging. It's used in the context of the story, you know, but it wasn't meant to
Yeah.
be insulting, degrading, any of these things. You
Of
could
course not.
legitimately make the case that blackface is used to be insulting,
No, it's not
and it's
legitimately
always
made case. That is why
it is the
it's
case.
used.
And it is always funny to me that certain people, when they'll take the one example, the ones that, well, they did this. Okay, so your one doesn't equate to the other 2,000. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't. Just doesn't.
No, it doesn't. But another thing is this, though. Not even with that. What I'm gonna say is this. Um, the if Eddie Murphy does a character for a movie, where he's playing a white character, it's a character for a movie. And I'm going to say this because I'm defending that art form, and that's not just for black people that's doing it and becoming white. It's the other way around too. I'll use Angelina Jolie for instance. Now, I don't blame her. You can blame the executives for whitewashing and not hiring a black actress to play
Exactly.
in Mighty Heart, but she by no means was doing blackface in A Mighty Heart. That is not blackface by no means. Just like Robert Downey Jr. It was a character. That was his character in the film. He was playing a character. Yeah, he was an actor playing another actor playing another actor. That's what he's basically, or like you said, a guy playing a guy playing a guy. It was his character. So he was not, and on top of that, that's part of the joke. It was part of the joke. If you watch the show The Boondocks, there was two white characters that was voiced by Samuel Jackson and Charlie Murphy. They were two white men characters. The part of the joke was they don't disguise their voices, so it's Samuel Jackson and Charlie Murphy, and they're voicing these two white guys. To me, that was part of the joke because Aaron McGruder is, he's tongue in cheek all day anyway. He's one of those sarcastic dudes, so that's what made it funny. You knew that it was these guys. You couldn't get their faces out your heads when they talk because they got this two. You think it's a coincidence he cast two very distinctive voices to play those characters? No, it's not a coincidence. He did that on purpose. Now back to the animation thing, because we go from the animation, you go to the blackface. So like I said, blackface, as we know, there are, blackface is something that's meant to, make fun of, degrade, or whatever the case may be. And we're not going to sit here and take the whole show and explain to everyone what blackface is. Just look it up, and you'll understand that Angelina Jolie was not doing blackface. I even heard that nonsense with Zoe Saldana, in playing Nina Simone. And I'm like, well, Nina Simone is dark, so she had to get darker. Now wouldn't have been my pick to play Nina Simone either, but that's besides the point. People are, once again, it's the same that now, you have that all the time. You're gonna have it on everything. Where it all comes to a head is people start saying, well, when are these black folks going to be satisfied? They're never satisfied. They're not satisfied if a white person plays a black role. They're not satisfied if a black person plays a black role. When are they going to be satisfied? Right? So, like I said, my main concern is stop using blackface in the wrong context. All right. There's a few films where that happened. And of course, like you said, there's no such thing as whiteface, but let's just say it is, right? Once again, they were playing a role. They were playing characters that was undercover as white chicks. Period. We know what it was. We know it was comedy. We know what it was for. All right. It's not the same as just doing just dressing up as a white dude and walking around as a stereotypical white dude. Now they were walking around as a stereotypical blonde white chicks, you know, Valley girls, whatever, which was like the stereotypical that they were doing that now. You have to say that. But like I said, I think when it's scripted out like that, no, I don't think so. What?
I'm gonna even disagree with that because they were going undercover as the two girls that
right.
who acted
Yeah.
that way. So it wasn't
That's
like it
right.
wasn't like
You're
they were
right.
going.
You're
It
right about
wasn't
that.
like
They didn't just come up with they didn't just make up those girls. The two girls they were going undercover as did act that way. So you're
right.
right. You're right by pointing that out. They did act that way. So they were just acting like the girls were acting. So it's not a really stereotypical thing unless you're just going to go into the writing and say that it was written that way. But now back to the animation side. Okay. So Simpsons, Family Guy, they're no longer going to voice non-white characters. The white people are not going to voice non-white characters. For me, I'm going to say, and I'll get your opinions on it. I personally feel that it was not necessary for given the time and all that. I don't think it was necessary. This is not something that black people were going around asking for. I mean, they may have been, but not making a big deal about it at this point. I just think everyone is trying to show everyone, not everyone, but a lot of white companies, white people, and white Hollywood is trying to reach out and do their part, so to speak. You had the Aunt Jemima thing going on. You got Uncle Ben and Cream of Wheat, Chef. You know, everybody's
How come
kind
you're
of
not
like,
doing nothing about? How come you're not doing nothing about KFC with the Colonel? Why does the Colonel get exempt from that?
I don't know.
No, I'm not. No, I'm being no, I am being serious. No, I'm being serious at one. If you want to go with saying Aunt Jemima, also, why is KFC slogan the Colonel, right? And now you got the guy back on television doing commercials. Why is the Colonel not exempt? Does he not showcase a stereotype of people from the South? Okay, I'll go with that. Because I was just asking. I was just asking. No, I'm not being funny. I'm just asking because I know they have said something against Wendy's with having Annie. I mean the girl in the logo who's actually the daughter. Exactly, exactly. But there was a time when people were saying something about that. You know, so I was like, well, then how come now you're gonna?
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not sure. Right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there were you mentioned minstrel actors and the minstrel shows. I mean, there were some black ones, minstrel performers that actually performed on stage with other white actors that were in blackface, and there was actually even some of them that were black and actually wearing blackface. On top of that, I mean, that's going deep into it, but I'm just saying it was, that if you like, the people out there, if they do their research, they'll be able to understand that. But my point is this about the uh the animation part, the voice and the characters, right? Like I said, the reason why I brought up the Aunt Jemima or anything like that, I just feel like the timing is too coincidental to be saying, okay, now we're not going to do this when he's been voicing that character for since it started, right? So now it's like, okay, it's not like Seth MacFarlane doesn't employ black people, because he sure does, because the entire Cleveland show, other than Mike Henry and Seth MacFarlane, who did one character in that show, Mike Henry, other than Mike Henry, the whole cast was black. The whole voice cast was black. So now Lathan played the wife. I think Kevin Michael Richardson might have did a voice or two on there. So like these characters, they had a black cast on there. But like I said, now here's where I'm on the fence with. This is where I understand and where I don't agree. Where I do agree is, and this is more on the writers than on the actors, if the character is a stereotype, which happens a lot in animation, if the character is a stereotype, then I kind of understanding, okay, let's just cast a black actor to do it. But at the same time, that's on the writer, because the writer wrote it as a stereotype. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you accept and ask for, because you have voice actors. I brought this up with Kev offline, such as Cree Summer. Very big voice actors, made a big
Cree Summer,
right? AKA Freddie from A Different World. That was like her, breakout role. Ever since then, she's been doing a lot of voice acting. And she's played mostly black characters. I did a little research on some of her characters, but she has voiced a few white characters as well. So once again, it can't be one way for one group of people and not another way for another group of people. So that's what I mean by be careful what you wish for. She voiced Penny, I guess, in some iteration, some version of Inspector Gadget. I don't think not the original shows that came out in the 80s, but I think there was like a remake of it that was on somewhere, and she was voicing the character of Penny. Obviously, unless that's a show that I haven't seen and they changed the character black, I'm pretty sure Penny is a white character. But that's okay. I'm saying I'm okay with that, but I'm just saying my point is that's one thing. I'm sure there's a couple other characters she might have voiced that may not have been a black character. They shouldn't be. I don't think voice actors should be limited to their own race, as long as the character that they're playing they're just playing the character. It's not a stereotypical character. So yes, you don't want white dudes jumping on talking about, talking black slang and saying the N-word and stuff like that, because they're playing a black character. At the same time, you don't want black actors, talking a certain stereotypical way that some people will stereotype a white guy would talk, and black. Let's be honest, black people, black actors, we've all been guilty of it. We've all been guilty of it. Yeah. How, how is what really? Well, I'll tell you
Yep.
what it is. A stereotypical. If you talk like a stereotypical, we've all been guilty of it, and plenty of actors have been guilty of it, right? So if they're going to, it's a stereotype, and that's why I'm saying stereotype. A stereotypical white person is when you see black guys, black comedians, black actors change their voice and they're like, "Oh, really? Golly gee, oh, dude, that's a stereotypical white person." Okay, so now we know that it's a culture. It depends on the culture, right? Because I know plenty of white guys that speak and talk the same way I talk based on my culture or whatever. If it's like hip hop, if I'm talking, because there's a lot of us educated brothers that can turn it on and turn it off, right? We can talk about this, we can talk about that, we can talk street slang. No, 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 but what I'm saying is, yeah, Kev, you cannot tell me that when people. So why is it that almost you can run down 10 comedians doing their impersonation of a white guy, and almost all 10 of them will say, "Oh, gee, golly, oh, yeah." They'll fix their voice a certain way, and they'll tell you that is stereotyping. Don't tell me it's not. It
Wait,
is.
hold on.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
forced.
not where it comes from. That is not where it comes from. That is not where. That's not why they're doing it. Because when comedians do it, they're doing it to make people laugh, right? So they're doing it a certain way. So
But
if
wait,
you
but
want
wait a minute.
to,
But wait a minute. If
yeah,
that's the case, then you could legitimately say from your standpoint that Alfonso Ribeiro, when he played Carlton, that he was playing a role that could be stereotypical of a black person with money, you know. But that now wait wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Than what he was used to. I get that part. However, but let's look at reality. If you're going to say, well, that was stereotypical role that Carlton played. How many black people do we see on television, the reality TV, that come from money? Romeo Miller and so and so that speak nothing like right, right, right. We
no,
we we speak we
you
actually speak English. you
I
know,
understand
I
that.
can I
I
can I can
understand
I
that.
can
But
conjugate a verb. I can conjugate a verb.
yes, we can. And that's not my point. My point is this: if it wasn't that way, Will Smith's character wouldn't react to the way he reacts to the Carlton character, because that is not what he's used to seeing.
And then
Okay.
what? And
And
then what
and, and they
happens?
even touched on it. Wait a minute. They even touched on it in one of the episodes where where Carlton had to basically break it down like, yo, you now all of a sudden I'm not black. That was when he was trying to get into the fraternity. He was like, "Oh, so I'm not black because I speak proper English and I'm talk educated." They even touched on it. So you can't
Yeah.
tell me that people don't see that as a stereotype, because they do, because they touched on it on the
It's
show.
not a stereotype. It's not a stereotype.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people say right. So here's the deal: if someone says to you, Kev, you talk like a white man, what does that mean to you?
What? Because I went to school? Because I read a book?
But listen to the question. Listen to the question. Why do you think they asked that question to you? That's my question. And so you too, Ralph. If someone say, Ralph, you speak proper, you speak very proper, right? If
I can
someone
answer that
heard you on
question.
the phone and said, Ralph, I thought you was white, right?
I
What
can.
is that?
I,
Right. I understand. Right. Yeah, they get a lot. I get where you're going with that. So my point is to bring it back around to the original point is once again, like I was saying, when it comes to the voice and the characters, right? I just felt like if it's a stereotypical character, okay, then yeah, you may not want a and that doesn't mean just black. That means any race, any race, right? So just because you're Asian, don't mean that you talk with a heavy Asian accent, right? Some people that I know plenty of Asians that speak perfect English, right? So my point is, if it's written in that aspect, then I don't think yes, then you should have someone from their culture do it, or if you're specifically looking for it. Just like for instance, if I'm when I was casting Playing Dirty, I wasn't saying I need a stereotypical Haitian. I cast a Haitian character. I said I want an authentic accent. So I want someone Haitian. And because I just feel that's just my personal opinion, I feel if there are Haitian actors available, you should cast them to play a Haitian character. That's just and that goes for everything. That's
but
just
I
my
think.
opinion.
But I think. I
As a
think that's
casting
part.
director, that's my opinion. But so my thing is this: people just like people complaining about white chicks, they're gonna start complaining about everything. And I mentioned this before. Next thing they're gonna be asking for James L. Jones to write a letter of apology to every white person because he's been voicing a white character for decades. And that's Darth Vader.
Well, I don't think that happened, but I think what the point of does
But has
I
he not?
while I do not understand the point for Family Guy, I do understand the point when it comes to the character of Apu, because they've been talking about
Yeah,
that for a year now. That you have this white guy who's quite talented. Hank Azaria is quite talented. However,
yeah.
why not have an Indian person play the voice? So in that one, I absolutely
No, I
understand.
get that.
Be
I
more
get that. I
so
understand that.
more so because there are very few representations of the Indian people, Indian culture on
Yeah,
television. There's
I
very few.
understand that too. I
Okay,
understand that
now,
too. And if that's your motives, that's great. But I just don't think, given the timing of everything, I don't think that's what really was their motives. So
well,
that's what I'm saying. I don't feel it's authentic. It feels more like white guilt to me than
The
anything.
Simpsons thing. The Simpsons thing was happening before all this happened. That actually came up last year,
Mhm.
so that one I get.
Yeah,
Now,
I remember. Yeah,
as far as the idea with the gentleman playing on Family Guy, if
yeah,
he is able to actually come with a black dialect, right?
yeah.
That's because like you said with Cree Summer for years played one of the characters on Rugrats for
Yeah.
years. So
Uh
because of
huh.
the fact that
The
she's
black character
female,
though. She played the black
huh?
character, right? Didn't
No,
she
she
play the
played the
black
white
character?
girl, one of the white kids.
No, she plays
Yeah,
the.
for
I thought she
years.
played Susie. What you call it? Susie. Whatever.
Yeah, she played
Her
Susan
best
Carmichael.
friend. Cause Susie Carmack isn't that the black girl? That wasn't that her
No,
friend?
no, it's the white girl.
Okay. Okay.
But
Cool.
she played that character for years. So if you are talented, because if that's the case, you could use the same argument when you have someone that has a British accent or a French accent that come and play an authentic American accent. you could use the exact same argument.
Susie Carmichael was a black character, dude. I'm looking right at her. Susie Carmichael that was the black character. That's what I'm telling you. That's her friend. That was Angelica's friend, the one of the other older characters. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
Right, but
I get it. My point is, what I said is like I know Cree mostly. A lot of times, Cree Summer did voice black characters, but there was a couple times when I was going through her history where she did voice, a couple white characters or whatever. But it don't make no difference to me. I'm just trying to compare.
But still, my entire point is this: that you can use that same argument when you have actors that have an English dialect or come from England or France or anywhere that can sit back and perfect an English accent and they get hired.
Yeah, an American accent.
The exact same argument, and you cannot have a movie if you are an actor, and I'm not an actor, but I imagine if you were an actor, learning how to act, learning how to pick up dialects is part of your craft. Hell, if that's the case, then you can use that same argument for almost every single role that Meryl Streep has played. Every single role.
No, I understand. And that's what I'm talking about. So now here's the deal though. Here's the deal. It might be a little bit when you're talking about dialects. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. She played two of them, yeah. But it's not hardly any black characters on Rugrats anyway. Most, not main characters. Susie Carmichael was pretty much the main black character on Rugrats. There wasn't that many. I mean, there's only a handful of main characters. Right. There's only and her mother, her parents or whatever, her mother. Like I said, there was only a handful of main characters anyway, and then you had Susie Carmichael, who was the black character of the group. But my point is though, like I said, dialects I think is a little different. You're not crossing color lines, so to speak, when you look. If you're talking about a Long Island accent compared to a Brooklyn accent, but you're still talking.
Sure,
about,
you are.
Sure,
you are. Look at someone like Margot Robbie. Right. There's a prime example right there. Mm-hmm. Margot Robbie is not from the United States. Where is she from? Australia.
Yeah, I know that.
But tell me you can't tell that is not that accent that she has when she acts, and that doesn't come from Brooklyn.
She's perfect for it. That's a lot of no, I'm saying a lot of the British actors, they train well and they are great with dialects and they know how to change the accent, dialects, whatever you want to call it, to match whatever character that they're playing. But I believe that it's still a little bit different. It's a little bit different. It's the same in a way.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's the same in a way, because it's a little different.
I could legitimately say, sitting here right now, you know what? In hindsight, the movie Man of Steel that Henry Cavill played, it shouldn't have been Henry Cavill. It should have been Tom Welling because he's an actual American.
Well, right? They had. I'm glad you brought that up because there was people complaining about that. That was one of the biggest complaints when Henry Cavill got cast as Superman. They were saying, why are they casting an American? Right?
No, they were only complaining about that because Tom Welling was on Smallville all the years, and they wanted to see him get his shot at being Superman.
No. People also complained about him being not being an American actor, and even Samuel Jackson. Yeah, and even Samuel Jackson talked about it with about Daniel Kaluuya. Samuel Jackson made the same similar thing about Daniel Kaluuya, right? He talked about Daniel Kaluuya being a British black actor, and he was talking about how the British actors come over and take the jobs from the American actors. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? Once again, you know.
So is that not if that's the case, is that not the exact same thing? As
No,
a
it's not
cat,
the exact same thing. It's in the ballpark, Ralph, but it's not the exact same thing. It is not, because the bottom line is, you know, that people will lose their shit if, you know, a white British guy came over here playing a black character. It's different. It's different. It's the same, but it's different.
Exactly. It hasn't been done yet, because if I'm not mistaken, aren't we just a year or two away ago when everybody was saying, I wouldn't mind seeing Idris Elba play James Bond.
All right, exactly. I know they were. People were saying that, but then you also had, once again, you had a ton of people that opposed it because he was black. You had a ton of people that opposed it because he was black. I know, and I never had a problem with it because of the fact that he is British too. Mm-hmm. Of MI6, yeah, the 00 program. You could be anything. Yeah. No, you're right, and I'll repeat that for you. If you're a part of the 00 program, you could be any. You could be any race. We all know that, but people don't realize that because they're just so used to seeing, you know, a white person play James Bond. Now, what I do, once again, me personally, it's just my personal preference. It's not that a American actor can't play him if they can perfect the British accent. I wouldn't cast an American actor as it. That's just me. I'd rather, because there's plenty of British actors, you know, that are available to play that role, or you know, or you know, non-American actors that are available. That's why I wouldn't do it. But you know, if someone did it and the American actor perfected the accent and the dialect and did it, then you know, it is what it is. But that's what I'm saying. This is what they're doing. My point of bringing this up, guys, is what they're doing. That they're opening a Pandora's box that's going to lead to people objecting to other thing and limiting the art. And that's my point. Just like I said, now you got the people petitioning about about white chicks. It's really just tit for tat. That's all it is. But people are going to do it because they're going to say, hey, why is it fair for black people to impersonate white people, but it's not fair the other way around? Because you got black people that's losing their minds over stuff that's not blackface, that they shouldn't be losing their minds over. Whereas, you know, Robert Downey Jr. is playing a character in a film that's that's scripted out. You shouldn't lose your mind over that. Angelina Jolie, like I said, the movie production company should have cast a black woman because there's plenty of black women that could have played that role. The role that she was playing was a woman who was like half black. I think she was a mixed race, but she's considered black. Very light skinned black woman. You know, Angelina Jolie had she was darker. She had like a wig on, changed her hair, whatever she did. And, you know, to look like this woman, she actually looked pretty much like her too. She really looked like the woman. As an actor, to me, I don't have a problem with her. I think she did a thing actually as an actor. Just like Eddie Murphy did his thing, becoming that old white Jewish man and coming to America. That's art. That's great art from my, you know, in my way, you know, in my opinion. But when no one's brought that up yet, they haven't brought it up yet.
I'll even take it. I'll even take that further. If that's the case, then next thing you'll have women sitting there saying, "Well, men shouldn't be dressing in drag to play a woman's role, like Dustin Hoffman and Tootsie or Eddie Murphy or any of them other people." Like, come on, folks.
It's coming. And they'll be doing the vice versa, because I've already heard people. They're probably just being petty, but I've already heard people saying, "Yeah, well, you know, Regina King does the Huey and Riley for Boondocks. Those are guys. Bart Simpson's voiced by a woman. I've heard all of this stuff already. They're already bringing that out the repertoire. They're already throwing it out there. Bart Simpson has been voiced by a woman for years. Why not let a man voice Bart Simpson? You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's what I'm saying. My whole point of all of this, guys, was, to my knowledge, we weren't really complaining about that anyway, not to that degree. I think
only,
at the end of the day,
the Family Guy one is the exception. The Simpsons. I'm sorry. The Simpsons is the one that people were complaining about.
Was complaining about. Not the Family Guy.
Family Guy is different.
Right. And here's
not Family Guy. Family Guy is totally different.
Yeah. And on top of that, like I said, yeah, the Family Guy one, people weren't really complaining about or whatever. I mean, you have everyone. You're never going to please everyone. That's never going to happen. So there's always going to be someone that has a problem with something. But opening up that, to me, I'm like, listen, all we want really is to be our art included with things like the Oscars and stuff like that, fairly evaluated and included. And to be honest with you, we don't want to get shot down dead in the street by cops. That's all we've really talked about or complained about. All this other stuff with the Aunt Jemima and all that, ain't nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for that. Because if you're intelligent enough to just educate yourself, you're not going to let it bother you at this point. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's their way. That is their way of saying, and they meaning white corporate America, white Hollywood, whatever you want to call them. That's their way of saying, okay, yeah, we're with you. They feel like doing this is doing their part. When it's just like, no. Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's just guilt. It's just guilt. I don't want anything out of guilt. As a black man, as a black artist, as a black director who creates art, I don't want no sympathy. I don't want you throwing me a bone on no sympathy nonsense.
I want it all.
Yeah. I don't want it. I don't want it because when they give it, they're going to look for it in return. They're going to look for something in return. Because like I said, the next thing that's coming is, well, how can black people, playing devil's advocate, how can we as black people complain about white people voicing black characters when we've been watching Star Wars for what? How many decades? 4 decades of Star Wars, and a black man has voiced an obvious white character, Darth Vader, the white character in the film, the biggest character in the whole franchise.
Time out. Wait a minute, flag on the field. First and foremost, you can't even say that, because when you first see the character, you know nothing about the character's backstory. You just see a guy walking through this blasted out hole in a black suit.
Yeah, but
you don't know.
No, that's not true. The second movie. That's not true. Right. To what? This Empire Strikes Back, when the one time when he got caught with his mask on. So you knew at that point. That's still years ago. Even if you wait all the way to Return of the Jedi, that was years ago. That was decades ago, right? So my point is, he's been voicing that character for years. Okay. So
exactly. And
no, I know, and just the same as us saying, complaining about a white person voicing a black character. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. No, no. I know it doesn't have to do with color, but what I'm saying is, Darth Vader as a man is a white man, right? Voiced by a black man. Is that not true? Exactly. Mm-hmm. Right. It started that way because, but I understand what you're saying. Right.
She talks English, just like any other person. And if you put her on the phone with any other Long Islander, you wouldn't be able to tell whether she was white or black. That's the same thing with James Earl
Right.
Jones. James Earl Jones is a classically trained actor. That's how he talks. That's how he presents himself. Even in real life, that's how he talks. So as far as him,
Yeah.
as far as his character, who he's playing as, who he's voiced as, because that's how white people are seen with the lens of from the 1970s going forward. This is how white people talk. So this is why his voice, his vernacular, and actually he was chosen because of his vernacular and because of his.
Well, of course. I mean, especially the way he talks. Yeah, especially. But like I said, you guys are missing my point. Number one, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm not voicing my opinions. I'm voicing the stuff that I've been hearing, researching. People are throwing out there. People that I know.
I'm gonna say a point, but whoever out there sitting there saying that now it's dumb. It's dumb. Whoever gonna sit out there and sit to say, well, they should change Star Wars because you have this black man voice and this white role. Let me tell you something. Whoever said that, you're a moron. You're a moron.
So why should to ask? Let me respond to that, Ralph.
The voice is meant to be intimidating. Mm-hmm. Vader's voice is to be intimidating. Now, if it just so happened that there was a white actor that had a voice that was intimidating, maybe George Lucas would have went with that one, because at that time
maybe they would have went with the guy who was actually playing the role if his voice would have been on point. But they canceled it
if he didn't sound like such a wuss. If he didn't sound like a whiny baby.
Exactly. So I think the only guy around Orson that time whose voice might have been
Orson Welles. That's it.
Through the way they did his voice, could have been intimidating was maybe Christopher Lee, maybe
or Orson Welles.
Yeah,
Orson Welles.
I remember somewhere didn't they want Orson Welles for that, but he didn't want to do it.
I think they did originally. I think they did originally. I don't think he wanted to do it. Yeah, I think they originally wanted Orson Welles. He didn't want to do it. Yeah. So I mean that's that's cool. But so my point is, with that being said, do you think it's fair, or do you think it's fair that Mike Henry he doesn't have to, but he felt he had to resign from playing the character Cleveland Brown when he's played it for how long? It's been 20 years almost.
No, I don't.
Yeah, there's nothing unfair about it, because what he did, he made a conscious decision on his own. For whatever
he made a Kev. He made a decision. He made a conscious decision based on pressure. It has nothing to do with conscious decision. All of these so-called conscious, all of these changes are supposedly conscious decisions.
You said pressure busts a pipe. So maybe somewhere inside of himself, quite obviously, because you know what? If he didn't have a problem with it, he would have continued on with it. But if you decide to quit something, it's because in the back of your mind, it's been gnawing at you. I guarantee you, somewhere in the deep corner of his,
that's not true. That's not true.
Listen,
I mean, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that. I don't know. I can't speak for how he feels, but what I'm saying, that statement you just made, that's not true.
How is it not true?
I'll tell you why. I can't remember her name. I'm not mentioning her name. She's a YouTube influencer. I just watched the entire thing on her. She was like an influencer, had a YouTube channel, whatever. And she used to do skits and stuff like that. She was just out apologizing and stuff like that. How convenient, the timing, right? And she's actually shutting down her YouTube page because something done popped up from when she was doing her YouTube page where she was in blackface, right? Or at least they said she was in blackface. I didn't see the skit. She was doing a skit where she was, I guess, impersonating Nicki Minaj. And
Yeah.
what they said is it's blackface web. So, okay, fine. Let's just say it. But my point is this. She is not making a conscious decision she's making a decision based on the things that are happening. To me, that ain't no conscious decision. Because if it was a conscious decision, you would have made it years ago. So
No,
I'm saying that he probably don't have a problem with it. He probably feels like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
Conscious decision, but it's still a conscious decision because she knows in the back of her mind, you know what? I'm going to get shut down. Let me do damage control ahead of time and start taking care of this thing this way because I know.
Yeah, but she didn't have to shut her whole. She didn't have to shut her whole channel down. She chose to do that because she just didn't want to deal with the backlash and all that other stuff, right?
And I think she's just shutting it down for right now. She'll probably take some time to go back through all her stuff, yank whatever she thinks might be interpreted as racially insensitive, yank it off and reload the rest of it. That's fine. But that's not the case with this guy that played Frank, what's his name? That's not the case. He is a voice character. It's a different story. It'd be a different story if the Family Guy was a live action version, and here you see him coming in here, and he's in blackface doing that character. Yeah. Then that point was a little more. But that's not the case because if that's the case, almost every single person that is that plays an animated character, they're not the person they represent on the screen.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
They're just not like
I've seen it done like a lot of these animated shows lately. Right. Now, a lot of these animated shows, especially, and this is before all of this stuff started happening and everything, and Black Lives Matter, all this stuff that's been going on before all of this. A lot of these animated shows have been kind of sticking to the script, so to speak, as far as like casting black actors to play black characters, even like on Young Justice, Teen Titans. There's always a black character that voices. There's always a black actor that voices the black characters, right? But Rosario Dawson voices the woman, and she does a damn good job at it. So I better not hear nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? But don't be surprised. But there you go right there. You say, well, you have this Latino woman voicing a quote unquote traditional white female. It's wrong. She should see. It's the same rhetoric. If Rosario, I know. I'm saying. I see people doing it
there, and she gave the best performance as Wonder Woman.
Well, let's keep it 100. Ain't nothing wrong with it because the original Wonder Woman, Linda Carter,
we're bringing up both sides because we can't just talk. We can't just come on here and talk one sided. I'm trying to bring up both sides, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, and what the potential is. Like what Ralph just said. People say, "No, that's wrong. It shouldn't be that way." That's why we all agree that. I think we all agree that Mike Henry shouldn't have to step down as Cleveland Brown if he wants to. Whatever, but Hank
Azaria
I can't speak for him.
Hank Azaria is a different story because in that case, yes, maybe it would be better to have a person of Indian descent playing an Indian person on television. More so because of the fact you have very few Indian people on television, that you don't have an accurate representation of the culture. The only one is Koothrappali, but now that show is off the air. But beyond that, you have very few Indian people on television and in Hollywood. I'm sorry, on Hollywood television, not Bollywood, Hollywood. So I'm okay with people saying something about that one. Can you sit and say, well, you guys waited 20-something years or something? You're a little late. Yes, you are. But I'm okay with that one. But this gentleman, no. He was the best actor that came with a voice that fit the character that Seth MacFarlane had in his mind. Same way as Seth MacFarlane fits the character for Stewie. No, and Seth MacFarlane is not British. I don't know he is, but he's coming with a British accent for this little baby because that's what he pictured his character in his mind. As well, he has the right to do. But guy, no, you can't always be politically correct, and now you're going to go back and change it. I saw the other day they talk about it, they yanking off of HBO Max, Gone with the Wind, because you had Haiti as a male. Come on, really?
Well,
Yeah.
actually,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
they're putting it back with the disclaimer. They did that a couple of weeks ago. They're actually
But
putting
is
it
it?
back with
But
a
They're
is
putting
disclaimer.
it back with a
but
disclaimer.
is having that disclaimer even necessary?
Well,
Is
unfortunately, because of these new so-called woke people now, because everybody's so woke and so awake, and and let's be real, it's really because of cancel culture. That's the main culprit of this. Because if you really think about it, really boil it down to the nitty-gritty, some of this stuff ain't really all of that. I don't want to say important and dare me make it seem literal than what it is. But Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's, the thing we were just talking about, in the grand scheme of things, it's not really nothing. But it's these sensitive ass people and guilt-ridden people on top of that who feel like, oh, that's just cultural appropriation. It's just like if you it's just like, I'm waiting for the day to hear somebody say Jim Kelly was appropriating Chinese martial arts. He was a kung fu artist. In real life, he actually studied with Bruce Lee, whatever the case may be. So he actually practiced martial arts. But it's just like with what's her face with ScarJo, and her playing the character from not Akira.
yes, Ghost in
Um,
the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. Now, if anybody knew anything about Ghost in the Shell, those Japanese anime characters, when they were created, they were all created with a European look. None of them look Japanese. None of them look Japanese. They have Japanese names, but the characters themselves are drawn with a European and white looking base. From Battle of the Planets, from All Star Blazers, I can run down the list. Gundam Wing, all of them at the same base, with the exception of Ninja Scroll, uh, and certain other ones under that genre that specifically are Japanese because that's from Japanese culture. But now Scarlett Johansson, she's wrong. She shouldn't be playing an Asian person. How is an Asian person going to play a character that was a humanoid robot that was based off of a European look?
Well,
Well, I mean,
one thing I'm
you
gonna say
could
about
do
that, I
if you
think that
wanted
was
to.
just what I would say with that one is that I think it was just because you're very knowledgeable of the character, whereas most people just would just go to see the movie. So if you would look it off of a face value that no one didn't know, they would just, I guess, automatically think that this character was Asian, and then why? I mean, you could say the same thing like with what you call it, Johnny Depp playing along Tonto. Like, why not have an Indian person playing Tonto instead of this guy? You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that argument could be
yeah, I
made
agree.
for a lot of different
I mean, a
people.
lot of things. I mean, look at like you said, Tonto. What about the guy who played in the last Airbender? The guys that's
Yes,
playing like Roku and I mean, like not Roku. Not Roku? What's his name? From like Street Fighter and stuff like that. Some of those characters. So I mean, yeah, it's something we got a caller. We're gonna take and get their opinion on this. Let's see if we can get this in here.
you got.
Caller, you're on with Real Talk. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Yeah.
I think that everything that you guys are talking about is indicative of how policies that not only in the United States but around the world,
Yeah.
how people are becoming hypersensitized
Exactly.
with the whole racial element and the brother who talked about the Japanese cartoon.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
Makes the reaction.
Simba the White Lion. I remember.
Those were all Japanese cartoons.
Yep.
They came out. You started getting those in the late 60s.
Yep.
Now, for the younger generation, they probably don't know anything about that. So I'm going to show that to you. But back to what you guys were talking about in regards to the entertainment industry, I think it's important to understand that when you have really good actors who are character actors, meaning that they don't really have boundaries. You can't just pigeonhole in their role because they've already broken out of that field. When we talk about your Denzel Washington, your Jack Nicholas, your Marlon Brando's. Oh, we talk about old school cats. Now, y'all can bring up the new school ones who are pretty much on that path too.
Uh-huh.
You guys brought up the brother from Great Britain.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Right. And one
Exactly.
thing with the British side, phonetically, they can switch over to North American language like it's nothing. And I wanted to use an example.
They can.
If you listen to Luther Stansfield, Josh Stone,
Mm-hmm.
Amy Winehouse,
Mm-hmm.
when they sing,
Yep.
there is no accent.
Nope.
None. Sheena Easton.
Yep. Sheena Easton.
For sure. Now, when you guys were talking about the TV show, how many of y'all remember Tracy Ullman?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's where the Simpsons started.
That's where the Simpsons started. Exactly.
That's who got the Simpsons segment when they was doing the little ghetto airport security thing.
Yeah. I love Tracy Ullman. Yeah.
Right.
I loved her.
And my whole point in saying all that is that I understand what you guys are saying, and it makes perfect sense. But you can't start doing all this regulation on, well, this character has to be played by, if it's a black character, it has to be played by a black person. I can understand that easily.
Right. Yeah.
I
agree.
You lose authenticity that way unless they are extremely gifted from an acting standpoint. There's been very few white people who could stay in a black role. I can't do it.
That's wow, that's an interesting question.
Interesting.
I don't think so neither.
There's been a lot of black actors. And you guys may know this. We talked about Murphy.
Yeah.
And y'all didn't bring up, remember when Dave Chappelle had his show and he used to do like the Walter Cronkite thing?
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
So the black actors have actually shown the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the white actors haven't shown the ability to do that. Just on top of that, when you're talking about the community, that's a whole different story.
Except for Robert Downey Jr.
When you brought that up, sir, it reminded me of, I was on a show and I was being interviewed. It was a panel of directors, right? And they brought that up about black actors having the ability to portray white people and not the other way around. And then the host asked me a very interesting question. She proposed it to all of us. She was like, well, does that mean, like, do we know white people better than they know us? And why? That's what she was like. She's like, and why? If the answer is yes, why? She's like, Why do we, as a people, know how to imitate white people, let's say, better than white people imitate black people? It's like, why do we? She was saying, why do we care so much to know? To know,
It's not even that we care. I wouldn't even say it's a point that we care.
We were forced
Right.
Exactly.
right.
Mhm.
They were never forced to know
right?
that. All they did was fuel.
That's dope. That's a dope answer.
Now they're trying to intimidate us. I mean, now they're trying to not mock us, but be a spinoff of us. Like they're trying to take our swag and then bring into their own sense to bring yourself
They're,
out.
they're
They're
appropriating.
just throwing
They're
that
imitating our culture, like they've
imitation.
done for ages. Whatever it is that they can't do from a biblical standpoint, all the way down to historic standpoints. When you go to Egyptology, if you want to talk about the original Hebrews and the children of Abraham, I mean, we can go on and on of how much they've appropriated and have, in some instances, taken our culture and transformed it into and just made it theirs.
Right.
Just like we're just going to take this and make it ours. And that's why I was kind of I like the fact that the caller brought up the point about the European singers with Adele, Amy Winehouse, and the like, and all of them. They have the reason why they are so soulful, and the reason why,
That's,
and it's not that they
it's the blackface that we were talking about earlier.
but and it's not that they're appropriating, and
Bring it
that
full
sense.
circle.
They just sit down and they've taken and grown to love our culture so much and who we are, from hip hop on down, to where they want to assimilate. That's why now you're finding all of these European American
Right.
singers, Timberlake and all the likes. They're trying. It's almost like they're trying to take over R&B and take over rap, because now they're like, okay, we got it. We understand. We think we understand what this is, and now we're going to run with the lane.
Right.
We're
You're
going to try
right.
to take the baton and run with it.
So, yeah, they tell us all the time. They came out of stage. They came out to talk to us now. Well, if that's the case, this has let's just say it's true.
Right.
How the hell did you get to the point that you are today without the help of the indigenous people? All the while, you don't even admit that the indigenous people had anything to do with your
That's a good point. It's a good point.
Very good.
Yeah. I
Now they're dealing with hundreds of years of life. That's why you're seeing all this guilt come out. You've got the Cleveland show,
mhm.
live guys. Now
Yep.
they want to take the flag down. The football players start running back and the people be there. I ain't playing another day as long as y'all playing this stuff.
Yep.
They all, the whole SEC got together, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Georgia, everybody's like, all right, let's take the flag down. Now
Mhm.
everybody's slam. All
Yep.
right, move this. Let's stop doing this. Let's stop doing that. All the while, they already knew.
Of course.
But see that aspect of what you're talking
I
about is
agree.
because it's
I black people, put myself on the left.
well, no, don't put yourself on mute yet. But
Careful, because what they're really doing is they're putting a band-aid on a very deep wound. If we're not careful, again, it's gonna fall for the open, yo.
well,
That's true.
I want to expound on what you just said.
This is a wound this is a disease that's hundreds of years old. Don't put a band-aid on it.
Nope.
Put a flag down ain't enough.
Well, listen, with
commercials, changing animation, characters, voiceovers, that's not gonna fix it. Now that's gonna make some people happy. That's a temporary solution. to a long-term problem. And I'm gonna put myself on mute and just listen to what you guys think about all of that.
Now,
Well,
with
we
that last point,
sir.
with that last point that he made, I want to expound on
that. Good stuff, man.
I want to expound on that last point that he made, Wes.
That's the point. That's the point that I was making. Was what kind of like he kind of like put a pin in what I was saying, as far as it feels like guilt. I mean, it feels like it because it is. Now, some people can accept it and run with it, and some people could just be like, okay, whatever is whatever. I'm more the person that says, whatever, you know. I know that it's, you know, it's not coming from a place of authenticity because we know why it's happening. So that's where I'm going from with even the whole point of Mike Henry stepping down. It's just like everybody, like he just mentioned, the flags not being flown, taking the flags down, stuff like that. It's all their response to guilt. When at the end of the day, I mean, you know.
But in some cases, it's really inauthentic because it's not from guilt. In the cases of what he was mentioning with the flags taken down with the colleges and with the black students saying, listen, as long as that flag flies, I won't play. See, that's a whole nother scenario. That's the monetary.
That's
a whole nother thing. Yeah, but now we talking greed. So
that's money.
See, that's the thing. See, that's the thing that I'm so pissed off that we as a people are not seeing, is the fact that that's how you affect them. You want real change? Start messing with their money. You see how you see the NFL, all of them is turning around like, hold on, wait a minute now. We need to get on board. Everybody's like, oh, want to apologize to Colin Kaepernick, like, oh, we understand now. Because they know, like, you know what?
That's one thing I have to
still
haven't
done it.
Roger Goodell still hasn't apologized.
Well, Roger Goodell still hasn't. No, he hasn't. I will say he has not. There have been other players.
Jerry Jones still hasn't. Not one of the owners has said we're sorry.
Nope.
Not
and
one.
They're the ones who have to employ him at the end of the day, because Roger Goodell works for the owners. They don't work for him. He's the commissioner of the NFL, but he works for the owners. So at the end of the day, if the owners still say, F that dude, we're not hiring him, he's never going to get a job. You know?
Well, I'll tell you this much. If they keep messing around, they're going to mess around, and they're going to have this, especially with this coronavirus messing around, they might not have a season. Because at this point, like I said, like the college players show, like, listen, we will not play, and they know that's directly affecting that college money, and across the board is what. And this is why I don't have a problem with the guy who decided to step down on his own, whether it's guilt or whatever the case may. You know, I think in his own personal way, I don't think he's trying to appease anybody. I just honestly believe that he feels that, you know what, it's the right thing to do within himself. As far as you know, them on a whole saying, you know, we're going to start hiring. And I think that now, after I thought about what you said earlier today, Wes, I thought about it over the day. They could have worded that differently. They could have worded it to say, okay, instead of saying we're only going to hire African Americans or brown people to play brown characters. They could have said, you know, we're going to open up the doors to allow more to be more inclusive of more people of color to play the various, or more people of ethnicity to play more ethnic roles, instead of always going to, because even with some of the black characters that they choose, they go from the small pool of actors, and it's only A-list actors that they get. You know, they don't really reach out, you know, with the exception of a small few. You know, they really don't reach out to like Morris Chestnut, and well, ain't nobody reaching out to Tyrese ass, but you understand what I'm saying. You follow what I'm saying? They're not really reaching out to people who do have range to do stuff like that. I would love to see Jamie Foxx do more animation. Jamie Foxx would be awesome with animation if they gave him a shot to do it. If it's even something that he wants to do.
We're going to see that with Soul. I mean, they pushed that back, but I was super excited Yeah.
So yeah, that's finally coming out. That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be great, I think. That's funny.
I am super
Nobody
excited
seeing
to see that
Tyrese
one.
ass. So, oh, oh my god. So with that being said, like I said, with the blackface thing, what we talked about before, or I talked about earlier, like I said, don't take blackface people and say that everything is blackface. I think anything, if they're playing a role that's not intended to what blackface was intended for, then I wouldn't call it blackface. Like I said, I have to say that, of course, Angelina Jolie should not have played that character, not because she's not capable. She's obviously capable because she did it. But I believe that there are obviously good black actresses, or female actors that could have played that role and would have did just as good, if not better. So,
sometimes it's just unfortunate. It is unfortunate that there are some partially melanated European Americans, because there's no such thing as white people. There are some European Americans out here that are the melanin content of their being allows them and the privilege of crossing over and being caught in between the two. And certain light, you flash a light a certain way. Like, damn, that's a fine look. I have a lady here, and one of my colleagues here in the office, Christine, beautiful Italian woman, gorgeous, a beautiful personality and everything. One day I saw her outside of work without 3-inch heels on. She was walking. I was like, that is a fine ass Puerto Rican woman right there. Then I did a double take. I was like, God damn, that's Chris. In the summertime, because she's half Sicilian, in the summertime, that melanin kicks in. And boy, she's looking.
Oh yeah, most definitely. One of my former coworkers, he's Sicilian as well, and yeah, he gets really dark in the summertime. Like in the summertime, he's like, he gets darker than me. I mean, that's kind of easy to do because I'm high yellow, but he gets
team light skin.
Yeah, team light skin in the building. He gets darker than me, but I understand that. But at the same time, and I know it's Angelina Jolie, and she's a great actress, but I mean, Halle Berry could have did just as good as that character. She was already. She could have did just as good, if not better. What? That's not even you. That's a whole nother show. If you're gonna do it, so now Halle Berry can't.
Yes. That is a whole other show.
I ain't saying Halle Berry can't act. I ain't saying Halle Berry can't.
I'm saying it. I'm gonna say it, and this should be the topic of the next show. Is Halle Berry actually overrated? Is she actually overrated?
Uh-oh. That's like asking about Tupac. Tupac ain't shit in my opinion. But
that's your opinion, bro.
That's your opinion. I'm sorry.
That's your opinion, bro.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Tupac is not in. Tupac is culturally relevant. Tupac is culturally relevant. Yes, but Tupac is not the god. All right. Tupac is
he's not. I mean, yeah, he may not be the best MC, but Tupac is one of the most influential rappers that's ever come across.
Yeah, he's an influential rapper. So he's a rapper.
He's put on the pedestal that he's put on, I believe, for his influence, not for his lyrics. His content.
No, he is not the greatest rapper of all time. I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone's ever.
To me, that's still KRS-One. It's still KRS-One.
I don't think anyone's ever. I mean, he is debatable in some people's eyes, but it depends on what your criteria is for best rapper of all time. Now, myself, I have a criteria which consists of 4 to 5 different areas that I feel should be in consideration for best rapper, or best greatest of all time. And it includes lyrical content, influence on, impact on hip hop,
pop culture,
lyrics. When I said lyrical content, impact on hip hop, pop culture, that's part of it. You got to put sales in there. It has to be one of them.
Yeah.
It has to be one of the criteria.
Yeah.
Longevity has to be.
Longevity.
Longevity's got to be in there, and flow. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, now here we go. Now I said all that. I still feel how I feel about Tupac. He still ain't the greatest motherfucker on the planet. Influential,
No,
yes, but still not the greatest. But I said that for a reason. I said no, but I said that for a reason.
Yes.
I said that for a reason.
Top 10, yes.
I said that for
I
a
would
reason.
get that to him. Top 10, yes.
I said that for a reason to go back to Halle Berry.
Point, and then I'm gonna bring the caller wants to come back on and make a Tupac comment.
Okay.
I'm gonna let him bring that on. But you make your point.
I said that to say so we can circle back to Halle Berry. Now that's the same case to be said about Halle Berry. Is she the greatest actor on the planet? No. Does she suck at times more than? Does she suck more than she's good? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Wait. Does she suck or does the movie suck that she's in?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's just like Ben Affleck. It's always been this whole thing that Ben Affleck's not a good actor. Ben Affleck is an excellent actor. He's an exceptional actor. He just takes terrible roles a lot of the time.
Okay, I'll go with that. But let's look at it with Halle Berry. Does she have a lot of dog shit roles under her belt? Yes.
Yeah. Roles. But what I'm saying is just straight acting ability. I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't believe that she's overrated or underrated for that matter. I think people say that she's a great actress, good actress, whatever. But I mean, I don't think she's overrated. I don't think she's underrated. I think she's right where she's supposed to be. Of course she won the Oscar, but that to me, that doesn't mean anything at this point. You know what I mean?
True, you took a dick or two, and I think everything just works out in the wash. Yeah.
Take a dick in the ass. Okay. Take a dick in the ass to get an Oscar. Hell, go ahead. Take it in. Wrap it up. Get the lube.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring our old boy back in so he can comment on the Tupac thing. Then I'll make my comment about Halle Berry. 1 second, give me a break. Let me say. All right, let me bring him in. All right, sir, you're back. You're back with us here. And you want to make a comment on Pop?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not debating. Wait. I'm not debating that she's not a good actress. What I said was, is she actually overrated? People have given her way too much credit, but she's got way too many dog roles under, and she gets less credit with me because she actually went on television and said, "Yeah, I know that role that I did in
Monsters Ball."
no, not Monsters Ball, the other one that she did with Travolta and Hugh Jackman. Swordfish. She said, "Yeah, I know it was." She said, She said, "Yeah, I know it was shit." She said, "Yeah, I know Catwoman was shit. Yeah, I know Gothica was shit." But you still did it.
Bad movies.
No, Gothica was actually good.
The best actress in the world could have played in that Catwoman movie, and it would still been garbage. That movie was garbage from the beginning. It was written terribly. Because she had an opposite that was another really good actor. Another really good actor is Sharon Stone, who was her opposite in that film. The script sucked. The script sucked.
I don't know if I sit there and say Sharon Stone I would say Sharon Stone is the same thing. I would go with Halle. I think is a good actress. Is she like world beater? No.
Well, Sharon Stone plays more talent. If you look at her,
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she does.
She's smart as hell. Sharon Stone is smart as hell.
if you look at her body of work. Now, the last comment I'm going to make about Halle is that Halle is sort of like the reincarnation of what we did. Basically, what the entertainment industry did was they tried to bring back the persona back. However, Halle's skill set is kind of limited.
Mm-hmm.
jaw game was on point.
Not only the way act, you could dance, you could sing, you could do a multitude of things. Now, with that being said, okay, we put this one about that. I'm from the back.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I know Tupac over there, and I'm not saying personally.
Right.
I know Tupac when he came from New York, from Lane County,
Yeah.
Same song.
Yeah.
He was the hype man for Virginia on the world.
I remember.
And understand what Oakland was going through at that time. Because when Virginia Underground was going on,
Right.
you had Club Nouveau,
Yeah.
the Chinese Social Club.
Well,
You had Invo.
Hmm?
You had Tony.
Mm.
You had MC Hammer. I used to dance in his group. Way back in the day.
Right.
I was never part of the main production, but I saw him at 17 years old.
Right.
I knew he was serious about that. I never thought he was getting to this rap. Because in Oakland, we never looked at him as a rapper.
He was entertainer. He was entertainer.
He was an entertainer.
Yeah.
So when the brother made the comment about Tupac, I think the reason why Tupac gets the level of appreciation that he does is because it wasn't that he was a good rapper. He was a poet and storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really hard to do.
Right. Yeah.
Not many people can do that.
agreed.
That him apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would really too. As far as rapping goes, Tupac doesn't even make my top three. And I'm a what else from the Bay
Right.
Area.
Right.
I remember Ice Cube, when I was in high school, rap was the life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about race. I think, man, I can dig in the play for you now. Big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nobody could deliver punchline like Big L.
Yeah.
Then you got Nas, then
Yeah.
you got Jay Z, and it's
Yeah.
funny Tuesday gets kicked to the
Yes,
side.
yes. Say that again.
Even off in the active,
Yeah.
Say that part again. LL Cool J always gets pushed back from the conversation. Always.
Not by the real hip hop heads. The real hip hop heads, they recognize L for what he is
Yeah.
and his
Yeah.
contribution.
Definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
There's a lot of them. Yeah. See Light, of course. Light is a rock. Yeah.
Queen Latifah was the better of the two, though.
Dana.
No, not lyrically. She may have been the better
lyrically,
artist. She not lyrically.
yes,
Better artist, yes.
lyrically, yes.
I don't believe that. Yeah, of course. No. But they're in the conversation. We talk about this, and I do on my other show that I do with my brother Evan Hollywood on his show, on our show. We're actually setting up a show that we're going to talk about. We're going to do our top 10 the goats. We're gonna do our goat talk. So now, to be honest, oh yeah. No, groups is a whole separate thing. In my opinion, we do like a whole separate countdown for groups, and that includes if it like a real group, not like not per se a duel. Well, a duel could be a group too, I guess. If you're talking like a duel is not really a group. A duel is like Airbnb and Rakim. You separate Rakim. You know what I'm saying? You separate those people. Oh, Rakim, yeah. I mean, he's top 3 to me, but I mean that's my opinion. But yeah, he's definitely the top 5. Nope, he didn't. He didn't use profanity. He didn't have to. He just rapped, and so we're gonna do a whole show about that. Of course. These are all the goats, man. We talked about that a lot. As a matter of fact, I think my brother's on the line too. I'll bring him in after your call.
Yes, KRS is my goat.
Right. Fonzarisi. Efeezy Fonzarisi. Yeah. E40.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Right. Yeah. He is.
Yeah, I go with that. Really
on my list. On my list, Jay is right in there in the top because of, like I said, my criteria is part of my criteria is longevity, and he has shown the longevity, along with lyrical content, impact on hip hop, all these things he has made. So he levels out, right? Of course.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now Jay. Now that's the one thing. Jay was not because that's a whole nother animal type of animal. See, a lot of these rappers, and I remember Big Daddy Kane brought it up. He broke down what the word freestyle meant, because a lot of the newer rappers think that freestyling means you're going off the dome, off the head. That's not true. That's not the same. They're two different things. You are freestyling, but you're going off the head. That's like its own thing. Freestyling is what as Kane broke it down, is free of style. So it's not particularly, you're not talking about anything in particular. You're just rapping. You're just throwing rap. So that could be written. You see what I'm saying? It could be written. It could be rhymes that you didn't use before. It could be rhymes you never used. It's just it's free of style. So that's what a freestyle is, where most people think freestyling means you got. And that's not, that's where people get mixed up a lot. So Jay's never been, although Jay writes his rhymes in his head, he's never been good at going off the top. You know what I'm saying? That's just not it. I mean, hell, you've never seen him really do it and really be good at it. And a lot of rappers aren't. Big wasn't either. Not right off the top. Well, I'm glad you asked that, and I'm sure my brother will. I'm sure he's in the top 10. He is in the top 10, but and here's where I always catch flack. I don't know if I think my brother talked about it too. Here's where I always catch flack. Based on my criteria, which is the 5 elements that I mentioned, Big is in my top 10, but he's not ahead of Tupac, and I get a lot of flack because of that, and I'll tell you why. Because Tupac's impact on hip hop was bigger. It was bigger than Big's, and that's what I'm saying. Not just on fans, on the culture, because there's so many rappers out there that tries to be Tupac. So now the only people that try to be Biggie are fat rappers. So, but what I'm saying is the rappers that were out there, Tupac, you know, they try to be Tupac. Tupac had a bigger impact on, in my opinion, on the culture. And that's why I get a lot of people come for my head for that, but it's the truth. And like I said, same deal. And the reason why Pac and Big, neither one of them is in my top three or my top. And I'll tell you why. Because once again, their body of work, they were cut down early, and it's tragic. But that we can't blame the other people on the list. They shouldn't suffer for that because Tupac got cut down early.
Hold, wait. I'm gonna interject it. I would go. Wait a minute. I would go with that. I would go with that. Except for one thing. When it comes to the body of work, Tupac does have a large body of work compared to Biggie. Biggie really only has two albums.
Yeah, he
Pac
has
has
a
a
very
bigger
large
bigger
catalog.
catalog.
Right. Which kind of puts you in the head as well, but not just his catalog, his impact was a little bit bigger because Biggie got him as far as flow and as far as like as an MC, Biggie's a better MC, but Tupac, I think, was the better artist. That's all I'm saying. Biggie's a better MC. Oh.
Heavy D.
Of course, Heavy D's the man. Yeah, it's so.
Yeah.
He was killing it. Oh, he's light on his feet, boy. Hev was light on his feet. But here, so not to get too far off the topics, which we did, which is fine. But what you said about Halle Berry, I agree with you. I believe she is a good actress. Some people, yeah, they probably do overrate her, but I don't feel she's overrated. Maybe just not in my mind she's overrated because I don't look at her as overrated. You know what I mean? Like, but if she is a good actress. I think there's some films that didn't really do well. There's a lot of films that didn't do well, but there's one particular film that went under the radar that I believe she did a damn good acting job in, and that is a film she has called Frankie and Alice. I think she did a damn good job in it, where she was schizophrenic. She played a schizophrenic in that film, so she was stretching her range there. She played a schizophrenic and going to with multiple personality, like kind of like a multiple personality disorder, kind of like Split. She was kind of like that type of character. So I thought she did a damn good job in that. A lot of people, that went under the radar, but there you go. But
I never saw that one, but I'm not sitting
anyone of you
saying.
out there that's listening, if you never saw Frankie and Alice, starring Halle Berry, check it out. It's a pretty good watch. She did a good acting job in the film. As far as her ability, I think she's a good actress. She the greatest? No. But we thank you again for your comments and your call. Thanks again for joining us and putting your comments in there. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so we're gonna bring in having Hollywood's on the phone. Having Hollywood, you in the building. What's up, brother? Right.
Nobody else but me. Let's get it, brother. What's going on? Let's get to it.
Oh man.
Even after Pop was gone, this is the impact he had on top, on hip hop. Tupac's presence alone aired all of New York.
Not so much.
Aired all of New
I
Not
don't know.
so much.
I
I
agree.
don't know about that part there.
I agree.
I don't
Hey,
know about that part.
Jay-Z even said it in a rhyme. No, he wasn't talking about Pac. He was talking about how they crushed the buildings. But
But wait a minute. Jay-Z was around when Pop was alive, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
What was Jay-Z run? Where was Jay-Z coming at Pop?
hmm never did.
I wait. I think
Opportunity to come at Tupac, and everybody put their tail between their legs except Mob.
That's true.
That's absolute fact. That's absolute fact.
okay. All right.
They want to wait until Pop is out of here. Then every dude that this is how this impacted on hip hop. Every dude that knew Pop was like some listen Pop in their rap after that. He didn't like
Yeah,
Jay-Z.
yeah,
He not only made a cover of his song, me and my girlfriend, this is up the old night like Tupac soul.
yeah, yeah.
Tupac did not even like listen to this day. So he won't. I mean, you're talking about Joe Biggie. I love like you said. That MC Biggie hands down. But Biggie did not have that. Biggie was the old school. That Pop, yes, was felt. You watch Tupac next generation. Pop, yes, felt eternally. And lost stuff. You got
Africa.
Tupac in other countries.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear. I'm not saying. Let's be. Listen, I'm not saying that Pac. I'm not saying. I never said that Pac wasn't influential. I said Pac was overrated just as far as the MC is concerned. But if we want to really break it down, we talk about Pac or Bishop.
I think like this, he may have been people may overrate him as far as his flow, but as far as the artist, Ricky was nowhere near the artist Pop. And they both passed away at the same age. And why Pop got 7 albums after he was in the first?
That's because that right there though. Hold on, bro. That right there is just a testament to Pac's work ethic.
His work ethic.
That
Yeah.
that's that right there is his work ethic. That's the one thing that we all three of us are MCs, and the one thing that I will say is Pac's work ethic in the studio. That nigga was a beast. Get in, get out, songs done, on to the next. So that I will never, ever take that from him, because he's always, his work ethic has always been 100, always been 100. I can never take that from him. Biggie wasn't that. That wasn't that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Nope. Timing. His timing's impeccable.
Oh, please.
Stop it.
Police. Police. Police.
I believe you got like a little wrapped up with some of the movies that you did. But you have to judge earlier the future how that can be.
Uh,
white girl, black. Any roles that you got, yeah, credit, and does them all very well. Yes, she has
Some bombs, some bombs, some bombs, some
Listen,
bombs.
again, Halle Berry is very diverse. She
Ben
is, and that's not even. And I'll be honest with you, Ben Affleck is not even a good comparison because Ben Affleck is way above that, way
Yeah.
above that. I like Ben Affleck as an actor, and I love Halle Berry. Don't get me wrong.
So I get what you're saying, but a lot of people I've been at that movie is acting with a party stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
I'm telling you, you will hear that a lot of people say
A lot, too much.
people say Ben Affleck overrated because they're thinking about the movies he's in it. With, you know, I don't wherein you got your characters like they'll take off Wahlberg, who's a one-dimensional actor.
Very, very,
They'll take Wahlberg
very.
and put him above Ben Affleck. And I trust you,
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing about how he does. Like I said, the movie, not so great a story. That's like ain't great because Nas is poison.
That is those are two different things. Two different things. Wait. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say yes. Halle Berry is a very solid actress. Did I like her? If you want to go with that, I think she was excellent in Jungle Fever. I also get to her credit a lot of people didn't see Losing Isaiah, and I give her right. I that was a good movie. I'll give her Bulworth, the original X-Men, Monster Ball, and the Bond movie, Die Another Day. Those I would sit this and since I didn't see the one that West talking about, Frank.
Which one is that?
So that's wait. But even with that one, that's. But I'm talking about theatrical releases, not made for cable, not made for TV. Theatrical releases, right? But even still, that's 6. Halle Berry got. Oh, I'll throw John Wick Chapter 3 in there. I'll throw that in there because that show that right. But wait a minute, but that's 7. Wait a minute, but that's 7. But that's 7. That's 7 movies. Now, if you want to talk about the movies that I paid my money to go see that she stunk in, man, The Flintstones, Executive Decision.
Did she stink in there? Was it her stink or did the movie stink?
Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Right? Swordfish, Gothica, Catwoman, Perfect Strangers, Things We Lost in the Fire, Dark Tide, Cloud Atlas, Movie 43. They call me like, dude, I need to keep going.
Cloud Atlas was dope. Gothica was dope.
Gothica sucks. But some she stunk the movie, and some the movie stunk. Both. But my point is this one: for all the accolades that people give, I put like this: for all the accolades that Halle Berry gets, to me, she's overrated. Someone who I think puts in a better job at her movies and it does not get the same accolades Halle Berry get. Angela Bassett, far better. No, it's not.
Because Angela Bassett's always going to get that, with the black people, she's always going to get that medal.
Wait a minute. What do you mean with the black people?
The blacks. With the blacks.
Wait, hold up, back up. She what? Wait, hold up. You said Angela Bassett turned down Monsters Ball?
Yeah, she did.
She did.
Get out of here. I didn't know that.
She turned it down because she didn't want the nudity in it. She didn't think the nudity was.
I mean, it's not like she ain't showing us before. I mean, she's had 7 years before. So, Angela Bassett, and you can tell by the way she, by that response, when she said, oh, she's Billy Bob Thornton, one of the most known racists in the industry. Why?
Right.
These rap hits. So basically, it was rap hits. It wasn't anything.
It was a person, but regardless, the point is that she didn't do it. So you can go by the what ifs all you want to. What if Richard Dreyfuss played Han Solo? Would we still like Star Wars? Hell no. But the point is that he didn't. What if Tom Selleck really played Indiana Jones? Would we still like Indiana Jones? No. You know why? Because Tom Selleck didn't do it.
But let's just type down a little bit.
That's not no. That is no. That is not what I said. What I said was someone who does not get the accolades that Halle Berry has gotten. However, when she's on camera, she gives a better performance. Is Angela Bassett? That's what I said.
Who doesn't give her the accolades from? And when you say accolades, when you say accolades, Ralph, do you mean accolades from Main Street, White America? Yeah. Right.
And what?
How much accolades did she get? She got that Oscar. So,
yeah. You're
that
right.
doesn't change her ability, her acting ability.
You absolutely right. That's that. So with that,
nobody said anything about that film. She did an amazing job in that.
Yeah.
But her activity to me is based on nobody is going that crazy over how the was supposed to go that.
No, she wasn't. And actually she got more press when she did the Bond movie than when she got the Oscar because the Bond movie was going to be spun off. Right? No, because her character was going to be spun off, and she would have been the first person to have a spin-off from a James Bond movie, but that never happened. But I'm saying when you hear that word about black actors, the first person about Halle Berry. Like she is the benchmark for black actors. No, she's not.
Let me just bring it back. Let me bring it back for a second. This all started because I mentioned Halle Berry, which I kind of just threw her name out there because I said this all started because when I was talking about Angelina Jolie, because our topic was talking about Angelina Jolie, who played a black woman in a film called Mighty Heart. I said she actually did a good job. And I said, what I don't blame her because she wasn't in blackface. People were saying that's blackface. She was not in blackface. She was playing a person who is in real life, I think, half black. But the bottom line is, I said, now they could have cast a black. There's plenty of black actresses that could have played that role. And I said Halle Berry, and I really said Halle Berry because Halle Berry's light skinned, and you have to be a light skinned black actress to play it. But there's plenty of light skinned black actresses, like you said, Kerry Washington. Then I said Halle Berry, but then that's how he just started saying, "Oh no, I don't know." Now Halle Berry, of course, she could have played that role.
Maybe not. That's what I'm saying. Maybe
played that role.
Maybe not.
You're playing just another person.
Maybe not.
You're playing like a regular person. Nobody even knows who that person. No one knows who. No one knows if Angelina Jolie actually did a great job imitating that person, but she did kind of look like her.
You absolutely right. Yes, Angelina Jolie is overrated. She is overrated.
She's overrated. I agree. She's overrated too. But
she's very overrated.
I agree. But
if you really look at Angelina Jolie's career, you got maybe 5 decent movies out of her. Maybe. Yes, yes, she does.
Oh
Yes, she does. And you can sit there and say Charlize Theron could possibly be considered underrated. Underrated.
Yeah, I can
Same
say
thing with Jennifer. I would say same thing with Jennifer Lawrence. I could probably sit there and say that Jennifer Lawrence. No, I think Jennifer Lawrence is right where she needs to be at. I think she yeah, I think
she's
she's right where
not
she
under.
is. Yep. Very, very because of her beauty. Very underrated. Either because of her beauty or because she's married to Dwayne Wade, one or the other. But yes, she is. Yes, she is. Under.
No, but even before Dwayne Wade, listen, I knew you was getting on for me. As soon as I mentioned Tupac, it was over.
Yeah, well, yeah. Thanks for calling in, brother.
All right,
All
man.
right,
Love you, man.
love you, bud. Yeah, so there you have it. Have it, Hollywood. But yeah, man. Like I said, so let's bring this to let's put a bow around this, wrap it up, and then we'll take one last caller in a few minutes, and but wrapping it up because we also want I want to spend a little bit of time on the fact that there's a rumor, not a rumor, but kind of like a rumor. There's some news out there that uh, Ryan Reynolds is supposedly may actually appear in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League as the Green Lantern. As we know, Ryan Reynolds played Green Lantern in the Green Lantern film with DC Warner Brothers, which flopped pretty much. The script was terrible. But here's another example. It's a perfect segue. Ryan Reynolds wasn't terrible. The script was terrible. And the same thing and he proved it. The same thing happened to him with Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool in X-Men Origins. That script sucked. That's why it didn't work out. He redeemed himself when he came and he was, had some control and some creative input, and they did the Deadpool film. Completely redeemed himself. I believe, and I guess the question behind this is if this is true, because Ryan Reynolds himself was on like at a Comic-Con or something, and he kind of hinted to it and kind of said, he kind of just said it too. He was kind of like, well, basically, I'm talking about the Snyder cut. And people don't know if he was joking, because he's Joker, Deadpool, right? So they don't know if he was joking or not. But the question is, if Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern is in Justice League, which is very possible, because when you put two and two together, they never ever mentioned, there've always been mentioned that there was at least one Green Lantern in the Justice League film originally. They never mentioned who that Green Lantern was, which one. Was it Hal Jordan? Was it John Stewart? Was it, Kyle Rayner? No, you didn't know, right? That's one thing. Another thing is they had rumors of, is it they were saying Army Hammer was supposed to come in and play him, and this, that, and then the guy was in like Batman vs Superman, all this stuff. So it's very possible that this little surprise of who the Green Lantern is, it could have been just that, reserved to be a surprise. And if that's the case, do you think Ryan Reynolds, is it worth him possibly, if he makes his appearance and everyone's like, oh, that's pretty cool, maybe can he come back and reprise his role in the Green Lantern show that's going to be on Disney, on Disney Plus, on HBO Max. Let's not forget, let's throw in a little nugget that right now he's kind of in limbo when it comes to Deadpool, because talks on Deadpool is kind of like staggered, kind of stalled, because he did present a pitch for Deadpool 3 and Kevin Feige allegedly rejected it. So He's not. There's no official Deadpool 3 in the works yet. I'm
Well,
sure they
no,
plan.
actually, Deadpool 3 is still in the works. They're still writing it. The reason why that script was rejected, well, and I won't even say rejected. The reason why the idea wouldn't come together is because Hugh Jackman was going to come back. Patrick Stewart wasn't coming back. So
Right.
it's what they would do. I think with that whole idea that he was talking about was basically almost like a killing off of the old X-Men franchise, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
was what that was. So, but it didn't. They weren't able to bring everybody together. So that was going to end up not happening anyway. So I think right now what they're doing is they're working out.
Is he's at this moment. I mean, I don't know how that works contract wise, but the fact that if he's already obviously if he's in the Snyder cut, he was already shot and he's in it already. So that doesn't affect contracts, you know what I'm saying? Or contractual obligations because he's already done it. It's already done. So,
Well, I'm sure that whatever footage of him that's in the Snyder cut is probably something from the cutting room floor of the actual Green Lantern movie. He didn't come around and shoot brand new footage. They just grabbed something from that was already shot up.
I'm not sure of that though. It all depends. It all depends on what capacity he was used because if he was actually used in the film, like in any of the sequences during the film, then he would have had to shoot new footage. They wouldn't be able to use archive footage. He would have had to have shot new footage. Now, if it's just showing him like a cameo, then they could have maybe used archive footage from the other film, just like showing him somewhere else. But where else are they going to show him? Because he's on Earth, you know what I'm saying? So he's a Green Lantern that protects that sector of Earth, that sector of the universe, which is Earth. So it's interesting to see how he plays a role, if he does it all, or is he just trolling everybody like he so does so well. But I think I wouldn't be surprised. It's definitely possible. And just to put a bow on the other stuff, to wrap that up, ultimately, I think it was a good conversation. Everybody had great points about it, and I still think that there's going to be more to come. Though I think we're heading for more people suggesting ridiculous things. Should get rid of this, should get rid of that. When I believe at the end of the day, what we need as a people in the art world is just consider our art. Don't worry about casting us for certain roles. It's about just accept what we've done and consider that with everything else. Like I said, it's just I know these movies didn't come out the same years. I'm just saying, Dances with Wolves, Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood was a film worthy of Best Picture consideration. So Dances with Wolves as well. So my point is, that's what we want ultimately. We want that. That's better than saying, "Oh, look, we did this. We took the name off this. We changed this. We took this." What we really want is consider our real art with everything else on the same playing field. That's what I believe at the end of the day is what's important. And as far as everything else goes, like the brother who came on and said that, as far as guilt trip and all, not guilt trip, but the guilt that's going on, they can keep that. At the end of the day, we just don't want to get shot down the streets by cops. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that aspect. So I don't think we're asking for much. But what I want to do is I'm going to bring Joseph in. Bring him on before we end the show and let him get his point across because he so patiently waited, and we'll bring him on. So Joseph, you're on with Real Talk. Thank you for waiting and good evening. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. 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 I'm a FUD, of course. Yeah. Yosemite. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Hmm. Mm. Give them time, Joseph. They'll take that away too. Give them time. They'll be taking that away too. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember.
Sickle.
A sickle. A sickle. Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Oh.
Okay, Devon expert. The psych, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean it's like I'm gonna be honest with you, Joseph. And actually I was actually planning on having a whole different show, like having this topic on a different show, so we can reprise that and you can bring it up again, because I actually have a couple of people that's contacted me that wants to talk on this issue. So we'll bring it up, this particular one, on a different show too, but it falls under what we're talking about, but kind of not. But like I said, it's just it's they're going overboard in my opinion. I mean, you're gonna take these are cartoon characters, so you're gonna take the gun away from Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam. I mean, that's part of his character. He always has the two revolvers, but the point is, yeah, it's just it's too much.
Way too much.
Right. I remember. Which exactly, and I believe. Okay, sorry to cut you off. I believe that that was there's another episode of Bugs Bunny, which okay, this is the one that I figure okay, I understand why they took it out because some people might actually try to imitate it and hurt a child. The Babyface Finster episode, they took out the part where he shook the baby. Remember when he's like, "Oh, Finster baby," and then he's like, "What did I tell you not to play with that dirty money?" And he's like shaking, and obviously, so they took that out because a kid could actually be watching that and actually do that to like a baby, maybe whatever. It's possible. So it's possible. I can understand why they did it. Now, kids watching it don't understand that he did that on purpose because he already knew that Babyface Finster was actually a grown man. That's why he did it. But a child watching it doesn't understand that. They just see that part and they laugh at it or whatever. I'm saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's probable, Kev. I'm saying it's possible. It's possible. That is something. It's way more possible than someone going out in a shotgun saying, "Be very, very, very quiet. I'm hunting weapons." You know what I'm saying? It's very possible to take a baby and do what he did to Babyface Finster, which was shake the baby like that. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. But Kat, in reality, although we did watch it and laughed at it, let's be real. Nowadays, Generation Day is a bunch of fucking morons. They're morons.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joseph. Yeah, we hear you, Joseph. Go ahead.
I got no problem with that. I got no problem. Go get good car. You always saying, I should have made that left turn at Albuquerque. So, like, what the hell?
That's where you see it, because I don't look for it, so I don't see it because I don't look for it. I mean, they have it hanging they had it hanging all over the place, but I get it. Here's my thing, Joseph. Let me answer this real quick, Kev. Here's my thing for the stuff now. I don't mind what people are doing, that they're trying to make things whatever, and they're taking the flag down and taking down the statues. That's all admirable stuff. For the stuff that like what you just said, let's say 70 Sam, Bugs Bunny, stuff like that. I mean, I personally don't think it's that they should be going back scrubbing all of this stuff and taking everything out. Just leave it or whatever. People who should be able to educate themselves and understand what it was when it was made back then, whatever the case. Just like I ain't gonna lie, and people be getting on me about it, I don't give a shit. I fucks with the Dukes of Hazzard. I'm sorry. I just love that show. Yeah.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. I also think that they just kind of stayed away from it because I mean, I used to watch that show religiously, so I don't remember many black people ever even in the show, so it never really had to even go there. So,
Nope.
which is fine. And like I said, I just watched it for what it was. Like what Joseph mentioned, it's entertainment. So I just watched it to be entertained. And yes, as a child,
It was the car. Everybody watched it for the car.
Right, for the car. I didn't know what that flag meant as a child. I had the car as a toy when I was a kid. I remember. I think I might even have I had a Hot Wheels. I might even have had the Power Wheels version of the General Lee. I had it. I mean, I didn't lie. So I didn't know what it was, but now I don't think you should go and take off the Dukes of Hazzard because of that. I'm just saying if that's the case. You going forward, you want to say, okay, we're not going to do this no more. Fine. I accept it more that way. And taking down flags that's hanging somewhere, okay, I'm okay with that too. But going back and scrubbing art that's already been there, I mean, if it offends you so much, just don't watch the show. It's not like it's a show that everyone has to watch. That's all. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, original. Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing. It shouldn't be anything. Same way if you see To Be or Not to Be with Mel Brooks or the producers. Nothing.
Yeah, I agree, but I believe I almost guarantee you, good Joseph. I almost guarantee you they'll take it out if they show it on TV. They'll take that part out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all. That's all. Like I said, I agree it's possible, but I think if they were to, they bring it out, they show it, they may cut that part. I don't know. I mean, maybe Nazis, they mention them because not, everyone they mention Nazis, they look at them in a bad light or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, people can still get sensitive. The bottom line is, Joseph, you're not going to please everybody. No one, you'll never, ever, 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 ever please everybody.
No.
Happen. It's never going to happen. So, we thank you for the call. Thanks for waiting, and we're gonna wrap the show up and come back like you always do. I appreciate you, buddy. Have a good night.
All right. No show this Friday. No show this Friday. Friday.
4th of July, yeah.
While I'm thinking about it, there is no. While I'm thinking about it, there will not be a real talk next Monday, day after 4th of July. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no problem.
That's
Well,
thank
you for calling, Joseph. All right, and you have it. So at that point, we're getting ready to wrap the show up, but I think it's some real good conversation we had here. Some good calls, some good laughs, and some good insight all together. I want to thank the brother. Actually, I don't think he ever said his name, but the brother that called up, the gentleman who called up, I just want to thank him for his call and listening. And hopefully you come back and listen to us again. And thank you, Joseph. As usual, you're one of our most loyal listeners, and we really appreciate you for your patience and your, just your support. Thanks, Kevin Hollywood, for calling in, coming at Kevin, so I didn't have to. So I thank everybody, man. Next week we'll get into it. I am going to set up a show where I talk a little more in depth about this whole thing with changing the cartoons. And I mean, cartoons are violent. We all know that. Those cartoons from back then were violent. But, the cartoons now are just weird. Yeah, they were from back then.
There isn't any good cartoons today. All the cartoons suck.
Today are weird, bro. They're just weird.
Suck.
They're like weird. Like I was watching, some of them are funny because they have these innuendos and they have these jokes that are on levels that really I don't think kids are really getting. It's more like adults that's probably watching it with their kids are getting the jokes. Like Fairly Odd Parents had some jokes that were like, I mean, Fairly Odd Parents, that's not even a today type of show, but I'm just saying that's not a show from my era. And when I remember watching it one time, and I was like, this show is weird, and I'm just like, but it's had some funny stuff going on. Yes, yeah, that's like this show is funny. But shows like Rick and Morty, that's like an adult show though. That's not really a kid show. Rick and Morty is like, it's just like watching South Park. You know what I mean? That's not a kid show. Hell, Family Guy to me ain't no kid show either.
No, it really isn't.
Those are not kid shows. Those are adult cartoons. None of them, no. No. Yeah,
sure did.
The Simpsons. The Simpsons wasn't really a kid's show either. I mean, but I mean, we had. Don't even get me started on that, man. Our era was just so dope for cartoons. I mean, we had such good material. So we had a vast amount of material that was on at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was good. Like it wasn't just like you could really like Saturday mornings was like packed. Started with Davy and Goliath. That's the word. Davy and Goliath in the like 6 a.m. And then after that show came on, it was just on at that point. You had all these shows coming on, whether it was Channel 7 with who? Well, Battle of the Planets for me came on. Battle of the Planets came on during the week for me. I remember back. Battle of the Planets came on. It was a weekly show.
Monday through Friday. Yeah.
Monday through Friday. It was like an after show. It was like an after school show. Like after school, it would come on. Battle of Planets.
After school. Battle of the Planets, G.I. Joe, and Transformers.
Yeah.
Bam, boom, boom. As soon as you came home from school, like you used to run home from school when the clock went to 2 o'clock. You said, "No, I gotta be home by 3:05," because everything started at 3 o'clock. I can miss the opening credits, but 3:05 you was home, and from 3 to about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Battle of the Planets, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and no, I didn't see it in the morning. I didn't see it afternoon. I forget what I used to watch during the morning going to. Oh no, in the morning I remember it was like not Roadrunner. Now I used to see like Tom and Jerry in the morning, or the Flintstones. I would see that in the morning and go to school, but come home at noon. It was
Tom and Jerry
McGilla Gorilla. You know,
but I mean, then you had, we could run them down. Voltron came on and during the week. That was also a weekly show, a weekday show. That was an afternoon show. Thundercats. That was another one. That was an afternoon daily show. I mean, Gargoyles. I mean, Galaxy. Just come on Saturdays, or was that a weekly? I think that was during the week. Yeah. And then the Saturday, you know what used to come on Saturday also was the Smurfs. That started. That was also the Smurfs. I used to watch the Smurfs like religiously. I was always watching the Smurfs. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's his name? Droopy. I remember Droopy. Yeah, Droopy with his.
You know what else used to come on in the morning? I don't remember what day, but didn't Danger Mouse? I mean
Underdog.
Underdog. But what was the Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse? Didn't that come on in the morning too? Yeah. Courageous Cat. Boy, I tell you, cartoon.
Saturday,
we should do a show on that.
What's the Hong Kong Phooey?
Oh, Hong Kong Phooey. And you know what else used to come on Saturdays, because that was part of like the Hanna-Barbera and all that stuff, was Mighty Man and Yuck.
Space Ghost.
Space Ghost. I remember that too. And the Laugh Olympics. That was my shit. You couldn't.
The Laugh Olympics. Yeah, I remember that.
Shit. You couldn't mess with the Laugh Olympics. The Laugh Olympics. That was my joint. The Yogi Yahooies, the Scooby Doobies, and the Really Rottens. He's like, the contestants are at their marks, ready even. So let's get started. The Laugh Olympics. Snagglepuss was the dude. He was like the commentators. Yeah, but that was my joint, man. Anyhow, we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll do a show about that. There's a lot more to talk about in the weeks to come. We want to thank everybody once again for calling in, and we'll wrap the show up. I am the director for the Jedi Council. And of course, as we always say, you can love us and hate us, but don't forget about us. Good night, everyone.
Deuces. Oh, wait, before we go, too late.
Wait. Wait. What was it? For the first time
Hey,
ever, we stopped the ending. What did you say, Ralph? Ralph, you always do
I
that.
forgot. I
You
forgot because
always
I
do
mentioned this. I mentioned this for Hot Take last week. I found out last week that this weekend is the 35th anniversary of the release of the movie Back to the Future. So if you've never
that.
seen it, this is the weekend for you to watch it. 35 years ago on July 3rd, Back to the
Mhm.
Future was released across the United States. It's 35 years ago.
So
If
now
you've
we
never
got
seen it,
to talk about next week on the show. At least we have to talk about it. So it's a 35-year anniversary of the release of Back to the Future. I mean, one of my favorite movie franchises ever. The original Back to the Future, the first one is that's in like my top 10 favorite movies ever. I definitely want to talk about it, and we will talk about it,
yes, we will
amongst
talk about
other things. So once again, Ralph,
that. Sorry.
I am the
Sorry.
director. You guys are the Jedi Council. Thank you for listening, everybody. And as we always say, yet again, you can love us, you can hate us, but don't forget about us. Good night for real this time. Oh.